here. Today we're going to be talking about the best cards in Rivals of Ixalan for Standard. So I'm here on Scryfall.com, my favorite card searcher. It's what I use when I'm building all my decks, looking up cards and stuff. And I'm going to give you, my opinions, kind of the breakdown on all the cards in Rivals of Ixalan. So starting off, um, we'll go with the rares actually. We'll go, with the good mythics, the bad mythics. All right, so we got Angrath. So the Planeswalker deck Angrath, um, I think is not exactly going to be that good. It's +2 is board wipe, -3 return target pirate card from your graveyard. I mean, like you could discard something like maybe if you're splashing blue or something, like somehow get Beckett Brass or something into your graveyard and then bring it back, which could be pretty good. And then his -11 is obviously pretty strong, I think. Might not be a total kill, though, so I don't think he'll see play pretty much at all. As far as the regular Angrath, the Flame Chained, his +1, basically Liliana Vess's +1, except they lose 2 life. -3, a steel permanent kind of thing that might sack your opponent, and then number of cards in his or her graveyard. So, the problem is if it was blue, black, I could see it maybe played in like a mill deck in Modern, but Standard, I don't think there's just any application for it. All right, this is gonna be a bit of a long video. So we got Azur's Gateway. Sanctum of the Sun honestly just looks stupid, like stupidly broken if you could actually do it, which you might not be able to do. But the real thing about Azur's Gateway is a 2 mana, but then draw a card and exile. That's basically a looting ability, except you're exiling instead of discarding, which is kind of, I mean, not ideal because graveyards and all that. But if you can flip it, which is going to be very hard to do, you can play it. This is either a limited hit or miss. I don't think I would take it in sealed, but something like Standard, there might be a use for it. Azure the Lawbringer. All right, so it's basically got Sphinx's Revelation on a creature, and it's reusable. It's a 6/6 with flying for 6. That's already pretty good. Blue-white, we might see a blue-white deck. Who knows? Blue-white Ascend, I think, is actually the archetype I've been seeing talked about. And it prevents your opponents from casting instants and sorceries until the next turn. It's pretty good, I'm not going to lie. That being said, it's a bit expensive. I don't know how quickly you're going to be able to get out against decks like Ramen Up Red, Teamer Energy, 4-color Energy, just the decks running around right now. But Rivals of Ixalan should hopefully shake everything up. Maybe with Azur's Gateway, you'll get enough mana easily. Who knows? All right, Elenda the Duskrose. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Elenda to the Duskrose. When she dies, create X/1/1 vampire tokens with lifelink where X is her power. Personally, 4 mana for a 1/1 is not very good. Fatal Push is also still in Standard, you gotta remember. Just, there's a lot of cards. Shock. The problem is getting her out, and she doesn't immediately affect the board state. She doesn't have haste. She doesn't have evasion. All she has is lifelink. I think she'll definitely be good in the Vampiric Bloodlust upgraded versions of that deck, because that's just going to be vampire tokens for days. But as far as Standard goes, white-black vampires, I could see running a copy or 2 of her just because she's basically a win condition, but I don't know, really. All right, Watley Radiant Champion. This is a card, as I want to say it's good, and as far as maybe Modern or even some Commander play, it might be okay, because that creature's her +1, put a loyalty counter on her for each creature you control. That's pretty good. Her -1, target creature gets +X/+X, and where X is the number of creatures you control. Definitely Selesnya Tokens is the deck that wants her, I think. I mean, Selesnya Token seems like a deck that could really benefit from her, but you know. And then her -8, you get an emblem whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. That's just gonna be card draw. If you're getting a ton of loyalty counters, you know, you can just get so many emblems, just be drawing a ton of cards. Standard play, we'll see. I don't think you're gonna be seeing much of her. Kumena, Tyrant of Arazka. Alright, we got another Merfolk Commander. This one's in blue-green, though. So, 2/4 for 3. That's not bad. Can't be shocked. Can't be Rift Bolted. Lightning Striked, my bad. Tap 3 on tap Merfolk you control. Draw a card. Tap 1. She can't be blocked. Tap 5. Put a +1/+1 on each. I think she's going to see play in blue-green Merfolk. I think she's a bit expensive mana-wise, but her abilities are too powerful, and if she's like the highest curve creature you have, then you're not going to have an issue activating her abilities. And the +1s are just massive, I think. Card draw is always good, and unblockable is pretty good. Polyraptor. Oh, man. So, Polyraptor. This is kind of where the synergy with Watley goes, you know? If you just keep having Polyraptor going off, there's a couple combos I've seen to have infinite Polyraptor tokens that could go with Watley and potentially blow someone to smithereens. The problem is, you've got a card like Azur's Gateway, which could help you get this out, but that would be probably turn 5. No, probably turn like 6 or 7 at the best. And this is an 8-mana card. The Gaia's Cradle transform land. I forget what the artifact's called, but I could see that helping the Watley deck and the Polyraptor deck out a lot. Something I don't think might see playing standard, we'll have to see with the ramp and everything. It's going to be hard, but it's a cool card, and I really want to play Dinosaurs and Commander now. All right, Rekindling Phoenix. This card is probably going to see standard play, almost guaranteed. Maybe Ramanop Red runs it as like a finisher. We'll see. It will see play in standard, limited. It's pretty much good in all formats. Maybe not modern as much, but I mean, flying, when it dies, create an 0/1 red elemental with at the beginning of your upkeep. Sacrifice this. I mean, if you're using it to block and they don't have any removal, regenerate immediately with haste. So, I think that's definitely a strong card. Next up, we have the Immortal Sun. Very nice artifact. Not going to see play at all in standard, limited, none of the Ixalan formats. It'll see a ton of play in Commander, though. You can just tell that's what this card is built for. Players can activate Planeswalker's loyalty abilities. Beginning your draw step, draw an additional card. Spells you cost 1 less to cast. Creatures you can control get +1/+1. Honestly, this card's just ridiculously good for most of the Commander decks. If people say it's a bad card for Commander, yeah, it's expensive, but when you're playing Soul Rings and Worn Power Stones and just everything that Commander has, it's not that bad. Alright, Time Stream Navigator. One of the most controversial cards of Rivals. So it's got Ascend, and if you have Ascend, you get a 4-mana Time Walk on the bottom of the library. This could definitely go infinite in Modern. 2-mana, 1-drop, not very good. Its ability is very interesting. We'll have to see if it's used at all. As far as that, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be played at all. I think it's just going to flop. It'll be probably one of the cheaper Mythics, and then there will be some modern deck that abuses it, and who knows. Trapjaw Tyrant. Exile target creature and opponent controls until... this is a 5-mana, 5/5 with Enrage. It's got clear, but the problem is, as I've seen other people point out, the problem I have with this card as well is, and this is always the risk with like Oblivion Ring, all the exile until it leaves the battlefield. What if they all come back at once? Like, you play it, you take away their Druid of the Cowl or Kari Zev, or what's his name? Hazaret, They all come back under their control when it dies. All they have to do is whittle it down. So I think it'll see play, definitely. I think there's better cards in the set though, and if it was a rare, it might be a little better. But as far as mythics go, it's kind of underwhelming, and I don't think it'll see play in like modern or anything. Twilight Prophet. All right, flying ascend, and if you control the city's blessing, reveal the top card of the library and put it into your hand. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is that card's converted mana cost. Okay, so ascend definitely has some of the most broken abilities in this game, but I don't see much token generation besides. Oh, what was the tree guy? Oh, I forgot his name. Oh, where is he? Tendershoot Dryad. Besides Tendershoot Dryad, that's like some of the only token generation I see. So I think Ascend might be a little hard to get to. But yeah, if someone's gonna build like a 5-color Ascend deck and just find a way to get all the Ascend stuff out by like turn 4 and just mop people up, but I don't know that it's that viable. 4 mana, 2/4 flying isn't, it's bad, not that bad, and fourth turn you need 4 lands to cast it. It'd be your 5th permanent. It could definitely be playable. It's good card draw and also good life. Like, I don't know though. We'll have to see with that. My problem is Vampires is normally a cheaper deck. So, and then we have Vraska, the Scheming Gorgon. +2 creatures you control get 1/0 until end of turn. It's good, not that bad. Doesn't do damage, exit or give evasion or anything. -3, destroy target creature. Way to protect Vraska. Still, it's okay. I mean, it can definitely get some big hits, but do you really want to be -3ing every turn? And then -10, creatures you control gain death touch, and whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, that player loses the game. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous, but you have to know that this is going to be like a turn 10 or turn 11 ability, and that's a lot of time to wait. And you've got things like Zakama, if this thing's getting out to turn 10, turn 11, they might be able to play a Zakama 9/9 with vigilance and trample. I don't think Vash is going to be alive for much longer with dinosaurs in the game. Then we have Zakama. Zakama's the commander card. He's the commander card for dinosaurs. He's got all 3 colors, red, green, white. He's got abilities for all of them. He untaps all your lands when you play him. He's 9/9 vigilance, reach, trample. Good card for commander. Standard, maybe. There might be a cheesy way to get him out. Who knows? Sealed, he's just way too expensive. So, commander card won't be that expensive. Not looking to really pull him unless he skyrockets in commander. Admiral's Order. All right, this is an interesting card, I think. So it's a 3-mana counterspell, kind of like cancel, which doesn't really jump out to people as good. There's obviously a lot better counters out there, but if you attack with a creature this turn, you just pay 1 mana. And this really jumps out to me as a counter to one specific card, which Pirates can't play well against. Pirates, you're going wide normally and going evasion. Settle the Wreckage. You can counter Settle the Wreckage for 1 blue mana. That's just insane, I think. It'll definitely see play. If not in main boards, which it might not, probably sideboards at least. But it's really good to make sure there's no cheese going on. They're not like destroying things on your turn. And I think it's pretty good. Alright, Angrath's Fury. This is the tutor for Angrath in the deck. Nothing to really worry about. You shouldn't be playing unless you're playing Angrath. Arch of Vraska. Alright. Finally, another controversial card on this list. 5 mana draw card. Only if you have the City's Blessing. 5 mana draw card isn't that bad, but it's guaranteed card draw, Once you hit, 6 lands, if you don't have anything good in your hand to play or getting flooded, you can always draw cards. Ascend, it's add 1 colorless. It's okay. I think decks might run 1 of it if they run it because of the card draw, but if you're running a playset, I don't know what you're playing. Alright, Awakened Amalgam. This card is kind of cool. It'll be interesting to see like modern play, legacy, vintage, maybe lands. Um, as far as standard goes, in theory it works with all the transform cards, but it's just that's way too long for whatever it could be. I just don't see it getting played. Bishop of Binding. Exile target creature an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. Whenever it attacks, target vampire gets +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is the power of the exile card. So that's a pretty good ability. It's like Trapjaw Tyrant, of course. +X/+X, though. But Bishop of Binding has to attack. And unless you're buffing itself up, which it doesn't have any evasion, and you could buff up something with flying or lifelink or trample or something else, something better that could actually maybe get through, it's going to die when it's attacking because it's a 1/1 for 4. Maybe if it was a 2/2 or like a 2/4, 2/5, some more toughness. That's my issue. I get that it's low power, but I like the ability. I don't like the combat stats. The Vamps might play it. Who knows? Blood Sun. When Blood Sun enters the battlefield, draw a card. All lands lose all abilities except mana abilities. This is honestly, I think it's a shutdown to lands in Legacy. I know there's other ways to shut it down, but like no more wastelands, no strip mining. Just stops the cheese. Stops cheesy lands. Besides mana abilities, the issue with standard is, I mean, there's Arch of Araska. There's a couple other lands, but like really powerful lands, potentially powerful lands like Sanctum of the Sun. I mean, that's a mana ability, so I think it will get sideboarded in one or two decks. But you never know. Brass's Bounty. For each land you control, create a colorless artifact token with sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Alright, this is an interesting card, I think. 7 mana, you're going to have at least 7 lands, probably. And so it's going to pay for itself. It's going to serve mana fixing. And then if you have like something like 10 lands, you get 3 extra mana. But you need 7 mana to play it, which isn't that strong. And 7 mana in standard. Games can go that long, and they often do. And I think standard will take a couple steps backwards as far as speed goes because of all the dinos in this set. But I might get play. I honestly can't tell you that. My guess is probably not. I'm not an expert, though. Captain's Hook, another controversial card. 2/0 and Menace is a pirate. When it becomes unattached, destroy the permanent. Alright, 1 equip cost. So, I'm looking at a turn 4 equip probably. 2/0 is a pirate. And honestly, with the synergy that some pirates have, like Beckett Brass, the Pirate Lord, this can be, like, if you're splashing another card, like another creature in the deck, like, I'll just throw it out there. You probably wouldn't run this in a pirate deck, but like Bomat Courier. You know, you can make Bomat Courier a pirate for all that pirate synergy. So, and 2/0 Menace, form of evasion, of course. I think it'll see play, not gonna lie. Pirates will probably run 1 or 2 of it. Maybe even a playset. Who knows? Champion of the Dusk. When Champion of the Dusk enters the battlefield, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of vampires you control. Alright, so this is card draw vampire style. Vampires, you're going to have lifelink. You're going to be gaining life. You're going to be paying life. Life shouldn't really be an issue. I think it's a good card. 5 mana for a 4/4 body. Yes, there's better cards, obviously, for that. But as far as vampires go, it's a 5-drop that does stuff, gets you a lot of cards, and unless you've been board wiped the turn before, it's actually going to draw you like 4 or 5 cards for 5. Is it bad? And you also have a 4/4 body. So, it's also in black, and black is kind of lacking in card draw in this set, so I think it's pretty good. Crafty Cut Purse. Alright, this is honestly an interesting one. So, this is kind of going towards that. This is like a direct counter to Polyraptor, it seems. And it's kind of against that green-white Selesnya tokens deck that might not even see an appearance in Standard. Who knows? Flash, whenever it enters the battlefield, each token that would be created under an opponent's control is created under your control instead. This could also just shut down like a really cheese Jace deck that looks to make as many copies of Jace. I think it's a cool card. It won't be mainboarded in anything. I can almost guarantee. I wouldn't. If I was running Is It Pirates, which I probably will, I wouldn't mainboard this card. I would sideboard like one or two of it, hope to draw it, and if I need it. It's a cool card. It's gonna be relegated to the sideboard. Dead Man's Chest, 2 mana. Enchant creature and opponent controls when it dies. Exile cards from the top equal to its power from the top of its owner's library. You may cast non-land cards from among them as long as they remain exiles, and you may spend mana as long. Oh, I butchered that. Basically, yeah, it's marking an opponent out for blood. Marking a creature out, saying, "Look, I'm gonna kill it soon, and I want to get some reward for killing it." I think it's pretty effective. Will it see play? Probably not. I don't see Pirates. Pirates is going to be a very creature-heavy deck. It's going to be running some instants and sorceries, I think, to keep it alive. Some removal. This is just an enchantment. It's not a direct affect the board state. You have to kill it next turn or whenever. And if you're enchanting something like, if you're enchanting someone like Alenda, they might actually want to kill Alenda when she gets big enough because create X because of that token generation. So, do I think it'll see play? Probably not, unfortunately. I could be completely wrong, though. Deep Root Elite. 2 drop, 1/1. Alright, Merfolk, that's not very good. Whenever another Merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target Merfolk you control. This is why I think this card will see play. 2 for 1/1. That's not very good. Merfolk is all about getting mana, effective cards in, but those counters. There's a lot of synergy, Oh, I forget the enchantment. It's an Ixalan. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters get. Oh, I forget. There's +1/+1 counter synergies in Merfolk. And play this on turn 2. If it doesn't get killed next turn, you play a lord, you play another Merfolk, or 2 more Merfolk, or 3 more Merfolk. But that being said, I don't think people are going to be running playsets of this because the Merfolk Lords are green-blue 2, and they're 2/2. So, do I think you'll see play? Probably. I would play it, but, might not end up getting played after all. Dire Fleet Daredevil. Exile instant sorcery or instant from opponent's graveyard. You may cast it this turn, and you may spend any mana of any type if we put into a graveyard. So this is basically, you see a card that you need. Maybe they played removal on you. You need the removal on them. Play it for 2. 2/1 for a strike. That's not that bad. Pirate deck. Pirates are kind of lacking in toughness. It seems to be a common theme. But then you go down here to the Dire Fleet Poisoner, and it gets 2/2 with Death Touch. So, it's in red though. And if you're playing Is It, I think it's a good card. Maybe 1 or 2 sideboard. Maybe if they play some pretty wacky instant sorcery cards. Who knows? Dire Fleet Poisoner. Flash, Death Touch, enters the battlefield. Target attacking power you control gets 1/1 and Death Touch until end of turn. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with this card. It's got Flash. It can be cast at any time. And it's a 2-mana. And it's a 2/2 with Death Touch with Flash. That alone is good. And then gets +1/+1 and Death Touch. Man, that's pretty ridiculous, I think. And it's a 2-drop as well. Turn your, you can be swinging for 3 on turn 2 with a pirate deck. Pretty good. Atali Primal Storm. Oh man. Whenever Atali Primal Storm attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. 6 mana for a 6/6. Do I think you'll see playing dinos? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what dinos is going to look like. Don't know if it's going to have a bunch of cheap dinos and some big dinos or a bunch of big dinos and ramp. I honestly don't know. Don't know whether it's going to be green, white, red, green, red, white. We can see whatever at this point. This deck will see playing commander. It's a legendary creature. It can be your commander. And of each opponent, playing a 4-player commander game, you get 3 cards for free. That being said, I don't think it'll be like the chase rare of the set, but yeah, it's pretty good. Form of the Dinosaur. Oh, this card. Enters the battlefield, your life total becomes 15. Beginning your upkeep, deals 15 damage to target creature your opponent controls, and that creature deals damage equal to its power to you. If you can gain life somehow, this card is broken. It's good against dinos. 15 damage is a bit overkill, but it can kill a bunch of things. I think it'll see a bit of play. Don't know that much about it. It's another big expensive dinosaur card. Yeah, go to Primal Hunger. I like this card. Whether it sees play or not, I really like this card. So let's say you play Atali, turn 6, right? Turn 7, your Galta will cost 6 or less because of that X less, where X is the total power creatures you control. That is, you could possibly only be using up 2 green mana to play this card. A 12/12 with trample. Yes, all that. If you're playing tokens or something and you've got like five or six creatures out by turn 5, you could cast this card turn 5. With 12/12 with trample turn 5 just ends the game there pretty much. Form of the Dinosaur kills it, but I don't think too many people are going to be worried about that card. Alright, Golden Guardian, Defender. Fights another target creature you control. When dies its turn, returns to the battlefield transformed under your control. Alright, we get Gold Forge Garrison. Add 2 mana of any one color to your mana pool. Create a 4/4 Golem artifact token. It's a 4 mana 4/4 that fights kind of targeted removal, but it has to die. So Suicide at a Dino maybe. Gets you some token generation. 4 mana for a 4/4 isn't special, but if you got nothing else to spend your mana on, you at least get some tokens. And 2 mana of any one color is pretty respectable. I think I could see play on the right deck. Yeah. Don't know that much about it. Hadana's Climb. Beginning of combat, you try and put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then, if that creature has 3 +1/+1 more counters on it, transform Hadana's Climb. 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Target creature you control gains flying and gets +X/+X until end turn, where X is its power. Alright. I like this card a lot. I think Merfolk deck should play it. The only issue is the 3 mana. Merfolk decks, there's a lot of 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana creatures. You got the lords, you got the legendaries, just competing at that 3 mana cost. And it doesn't, at beginning of combat, if you play this main phase, you get the +1/+1 counter immediately. This could possibly transform the turn you play it. I think it'll see play, but the people that are going to play Merfolk are going to make that final decision. Induced Amnesia. Target player exiles all cards from his or her hand, face down, draws them many cards, put into the graveyard from the battlefield, return the exile cards to their owner's hand. Basically, if you duress, there's a couple play types for this I see. If you duress and you see that they've got like a loaded hand, they've got like 3 legendary dinos in their hands, cast this, kind of mess them up. Nothing really special. It's kind of just annoying. And also, if they destroy it at the wrong time, they could be over flooded in their hand and have to discard. So, yeah, I can see play. Jadelight Ranger. It double explores 3 mana for a potential 4/3. Probably not played Merfolk at all. Not powerful enough to be a Merfolk. And exploring, the 1/1 counters is pretty good. But this will definitely see play. Green-Black Explorer will be a budget archetype, I'm sure of. And it'll kind of be the 3-drop of that deck, I think. Alright, Journey to Eternity. Golgari colors. Enchant creature you control. When it dies, return to the battlefield under your control, then return Journey transformed. So this, first off, this legendary enchantment is basically giving your thing like a rebirth, which is just insane. Playing this on like a dino or something, that's pretty good. Turn 3 as well, not bad. But then add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool and return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Holy cow. Graveyard synergy, anyone? Yeah. This deck could see a lot of play in Standard, if there's the right cards for it. I don't know if there are. I don't see like a ton of discard big creature strategies out there right now. Like dinosaurs are green, so who knows. It'll see some play. Definitely see play in like Commander, maybe Marin decks. Maybe keep your Marin alive. But I think I could see play, definitely. Kumena's Awakening with Ascend. Each player draws a card. If you have the City's Blessing instead, only you draw a card. It's a commander card. That's all I can say, pretty much. You're drawing 2 cards on your upkeep, but you're giving your opponent a card. It's 4 mana. I personally just don't like it that much. Commander decks will probably run maybe a couple commander decks will run it. I don't think it's that good of a card, though. Mastermind's Acquisition. Choose one. Search your library for a card. Put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Choose a card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand. Alright. 4 mana Wish. Yeah, I know. But if you're playing in a game, running a black deck, and you've got an answer in your sideboard to a card that your opponent has, that would cost you the game. Just doing this is ridiculous. Like, you basically get a sideboard a game early. Search your library for a card. It's a tutor, 4 mana tutor, or Wish. It'll probably see play. Who knows? Nezahal Primal Tide can't be countered. 7 mana, 7/7. Another big dino. Oh my gosh. But it's in blue, so who knows? I don't think it'll see play because it's in blue. Maybe like the big finisher for a blue deck. We'll see. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature card, draw a card. Non-creature spell, draw a card. You have no maximum hand size. Discard 3, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner control at the beginning of the next end step. Yeah. Bunch of card draw. Can resurrect itself just by discarding 3. It's a good card. Don't know where it'll fall in standard, and it's a bit expensive. That's the problem with these dinos. They're so good, but so expensive. Paladin of Atonement. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you lost life last turn, put a 1/1 counter on it. When it dies, you gain life equal to its toughness. 2-drop, 1/1. It's a vampire deck. They're going to be spending life to cast things, and they're going to be attacking a lot. They might not have blockers up. I think it'll see play. Path of Discovery. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you control it explores. Simple, 4 mana enchantment. Bit expensive. It'll see play in the Explore deck, though. I'm pretty sure of that. Path of Metal. Enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to each creature that doesn't have First Strike, Double Strike, Vigilance, or Haste. Whenever you attack with at least 2 creatures that do have one of those, transform it. And then transform it into add 1 mana color of any. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Deals 2 damage to each opponent for 2. 3, choose a creature at random that attack this turn, destroy it. Pretty good. Red, white, dinos could possibly see it. I honestly don't know. It's 4 mana standard. Don't think it's going to see much play in standard, though. Profane Procession. Oh, okay. This is a card that I like, but you're playing a 3 mana enchantment that doesn't do anything, and then you have to wait till turn 5 to exile it, and then you have to exile 3 more. Like, that's honestly just breaking it for me. Like, 5 mana in the vampire deck, you could basically cast all your creatures for it, and you have to exile 3 or more. Like, it could be other creatures, I know, but under your control, it's good. It's just too slow, I think. It's just too slow. I'm sorry. Protean Raider. If you attack with a creature this turn, you may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. Shapeshifter Pirate. I could see it seeing play. It's always good to imitate creatures, you know? And 3 mana to play in your second main phase, that's not that bad. You know, you can duplicate whatever you want. Radiant Destiny. Ascend. Choose a creature type. Get +1/+1. As long as you have the City's Blessing, they also get Vigilance. Path of Metal. +1/+1 of the chosen type. It's going to see play in vampires, probably. If it sees play. My only issue is +1/+1 for 3 permanent. That's not bad. I can see it being played as kind of like a finisher and helping it out, you know. Every deck's got to have some enchantments. Well, not really, but enchantments, I think, yeah, it will see play. Probably. Release to the Wind. Exile target non-land permanent for as long as that card remains exiled. Its owner may cast it without paying its mana cost. 3 mana Flicker. I mean, that's all it is, basically. Maybe, like, bounce a creature, and then they can cast it next turn if it doesn't have Flash. Would be the way to do it, but... Or enter the battlefield triggers. outside of standard, it's not going to see any play because Ghostly Flicker, you know? Seafloor Oracle, 4 drop, 2/3. Whenever a merfolk you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Don't know about this one. 4 mana, 2/3 body. Isn't very good. That being said, it's a 4 drop for the merfolk deck, and it's a bunch of card draw. Do I think it'll see play? Possibly. One or two of. Who knows? This merfolk deck is going to be interesting. There's a lot of good cards for it. Alright, Siegehorn Ceratops. Whenever it's dealt damage, put 2+1/+1 counters on it. It must survive the damage to get the counters. Enrage, 2 drop, green white. Honestly, it's playable. 2 drop for 2/2 isn't that bad, but isn't the best thing in the world. It's still pretty good though. And in a Dino deck that's going to be playing creatures turn 4, turn 5, you need something. And you can just enrage this baby, make it a 4/4, turn 3. Honestly, I like this card a lot, and I think it could be played. And it's going to be played if there is a deck for it. Silent Gravestone. Cards in graveyards can't be the targets as well as their abilities. Grafdigger's Cage for 1 mana. Exile and all cards from all graveyards. Yeah. Unless there's graveyard shenanigans going on, I don't think it'll be played. 1 mana for that isn't that bad, but and if its 4 tap was good enough, it would definitely see play in pretty much anything. Maybe to stop the cycling with the sarcophagus, you know, maybe prevent or I don't think you'll see play that much. Maybe sideboarded against Godfarer's Gift. So that's the potential. Like 1 drop, just wipe out Godfarer's Gift could be pretty big. I think they printed that to shut down Godfarer's Gift. Who knows? Silverclad Ferocidon, 7 mana, 8/5. Whenever it's dealt damage, each opponent sacrifices a permanent. 5 toughness. That 7 mana for 8 power. I don't know about the Dino decks. I don't know how they're going to get the mana fast enough, how they're going to stall to get the mana. But there's so many good dinos. This Enrage though seems pretty strong, but also pretty weak. You know, if they've got like a 1/1 that they use to draw a card or something, they can just sack that. This one, it's okay, but also the lower toughness with Enrage. Other 7 mana drops are better. Slaughter the Strong. Each player chooses any numbers of creatures he controls with total power 4 or less, and sacrifices all other creatures he or she controls. This is a Dino card. This is going to be your board wipe on your opponents while you keep all your creatures because all your creatures are too fat to move. It's big. It's bad. It's what they want. 3 mana. Still gonna let them play a Dino that turn possibly. Why not? Maybe green-white might be a thing. Who knows? Sphinx's Decree. Each player can't cast instant or sorcery spells during that player's next turn. You can shut down removal, basically. If it was an instant, it would be better. But yeah, but it's also got each opponent, so I definitely think commanders like it. In like blue-white controlling decks, who knows? Standard play, probably blue-white control. Storm the Vault. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal damage to a player, create a colorless treasure token. If you control 5 or more artifacts, transform it at the beginning of your end step. And holy cow, Teleria West. If you're transforming this thing, this is going to be tapping for 5 mana. Don't think it'll see play much standard. The artifacts just aren't good enough, I think. Modern, this thing is going to see play. Legacy, Vintage, I think it's going to see a lot of play. But I could be completely wrong, and it could be another worthless card that you run in Commander for ramping. Who knows? Just take a look at that. Tempo Altasaur. It's a 5-drop, 3/4. If a source would deal damage to another you control, prevent all but 1 of that damage. This card is the protection on Enrage. It's a 5-drop for a 3/4. That's not very good. But considering most of the dinos with good Enrage effects are 6, 7, 8 drops, play this, then start playing your Enraged dinos. Deal as much damage to them as you want. They're only going to take 1, and they're just going to keep getting enraged. Enraged green-white dinosaurs. Or enraged 3-color dinosaurs is probably the sweet spot. The mana fixing will be a mess. We'll see how they work that out. Tendershoot Dryad. This is a great sealed card, I think. Beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1. Each upkeep, first off. Commander, that's 4 for this. Okay? And if you have the City's Blessing, which you're going to get sooner, they get +2/+2. It's only a 2/2. I think it might see play. Green-white tokens. This is the token generator. But Commander, probably. Modern, probably not. Standard, maybe. Alright, we're finally winding down here. We got Tetzamok. Death Touch, 6-drop, 6/6. Reveal it from your hand. Put a prey counter on target creature. Whenever it enters the battlefield, destroy each creature your opponent controls with a prey counter on it. So basically, if you've got this card in your hand and you've got 1 free black mana each turn, just keep putting prey counters. Then once you cast it, just murder them all. 6/6 Death Touch. Death Touch is kind of overkill for it. It's going to be probably the finisher for some sort of black deck that's going to come out. I like it. I think it will see playing standard. Tillinolly Summoner. When it attacks, you may pay X if you have this. Also, it's got to send. When it attacks, you may pay X and a red. If you do create X 1/1 red elemental tokens that are attached to attacking, at the beginning of the next step, exile those tokens unless you have the City's Blessing. Token Generation, 2-drop 1/1, ascend. Token Generation that gets better as the game goes on. It's a human shaman, doesn't fit into any of the tribes. Don't see it getting played much unless like Ramen Up Red wants to play it for Token Generation. You could see play. And you could also get to ascend with the creating the tokens. So, who knows? I don't think so that much. Alright, this video is getting really long, sorry. Tomb Robber, Menace. Discard a card, Tomb Robber Explores. 3 for a 1/1 pirate. Menace is pretty good. Discard Explores. Green-black Explorer, I think we'll play it. Pirates won't. Vonda's Hunger, 3, ascend. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. If you have the City's Blessing instead, each opponent sacrifices half the creatures he or she controls rounded up. This is an ascend removal card, instant speed. If you have ascend, it's really good. If you don't, it's still not that bad. Can't really go wrong with it, I don't think. Vraska Scorn. This is the Vraska tutor. It's a 4-life for 4. Nothing too special. Warkite Marauder. This is a 2-mana, 2/1 drop pirate with flying. When it attacks target creature defending player controls, loses all abilities and has base power and toughness 0/1 until end of turn. This can shut down all the enraged dinosaurs. It's basically removal. Because you can be attacking with 2 creatures and just say, all right, if you chump block, your creature's gonna die. If you don't block, I get through. If they got a flying creature to block this guy, just say you can't block me. You don't have flying or reach. I think you'll see play, definitely. Wayward Swordtooth, 3 mana for a 5/5. Let that sink in. Ascend. Green-white dinos. It's gonna be fun. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. There's the ramp. Wow, Dinos just got a whole lot better. It's got ascend and it can't attack unless you got the City's Blessing. But that extra land, this card will see play, I think. Definitely. World Shaper attacks. You may put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. When it dies, put all land cards from your graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. 4 mana, ramp. Don't think you'll see play in Merfolk, maybe? Could see play in Dinos, though. You never know. Could be ramping dinosaurs up. This dinosaur deck could actually get pretty scary. And then our final one is going to be the last of the 5 legendary dinosaurs. Zatalpa, Primal Dawn. 4/8, 8-drop. Think about that. That's bad. That's just bad. It's really an 8-drop, but read this. Flying. That's evasion. Double Strike, 8 damage. Vigilance, doesn't tap. Trample, and Indestructible. If you play white dinosaurs and you want to run it, it won't be that bad if you can get it out. Don't know how to evaluate it. There's going to be some crazy deck running a bunch of big dinosaurs. This is honestly just looking like a fun set to me. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I've been back. First time I've been back in a while. It's a bit of a long video, but I hope you guys like it.